Welcome back, America. My guest this afternoon is Dr. Grace Vuoto. And Dr. Grace, listen, here's how I'd like to set this up. You were sharing with me off air earlier something amazing that I did not know about ISIS and kind of where they've been headed with this and how it ties into Obama administration, what they may or may not have known. And then when you shared that with me, I shared something with you that you didn't know, and that you tie the two together, and it's quite alarming. And so let me begin with this. Judicial Watch in fact, let me see if I can find nationalreview.com is the one running this article, but Judicial Watch has just released a bulletin published by the federal government that they've somehow gotten a hold of that describes a threat of imminent ISIS terrorist attack on our southern border. And just to make this quick, I'm going to paraphrase without reading all this to you over the radio, but the city of Ciudad Juarez, Ciudad in Spanish means city, the Juarez city, Ciudad Juarez, right across the Mexican border with the United States, it says that it is now an ISIS stronghold. It's an ISIS training center. And the federal government, federal law enforcement agencies, and terrorist agencies now have sources that reveal that ISIS is operating in Juarez, and they are planning an aggressive attack on the United States and on the border itself, and using car bombs and IEDs and on and on and on. And now, I mean, this has just been issued in the last couple of days. So ISIS, that we're all watching, with our jaws on the ground at the barbarism in the Middle East, they're at our southern borders, ready to come. And you got Obama, who's the one who's opened the southern borders, bragging about this summer how he's going to use executive orders to keep the borders open and to continue to open the borders. And now we've got this information that you know. Tell the folks what you know.
Well, Carl, I've been saying that Obama is our greatest national security threat.
Yes, he is.
And recently he's caught now in another major lie. As ISIS marched across Syria and Iraq, he said in many, many press conferences that the ISIS threat is something that just emerged over the last couple of months. In fact, he's called them the JV team. He said that there was nothing much to worry about in an interview in the New Yorker in January.
Yeah, I remember.
However, a report that has come out from a counterterrorism center from West Point has said that this group, ISIS, has been amassing its strength and power since 2010. So this is a group that has been patiently, methodically, systematically amassing its weaponry, its tactics, its strategy, its strength. So this has been going on for years, and for them to basically knock out the American-trained Iraqi army so quickly. This isn't something that just happened overnight.
Right. So this
was a methodical plan that has been brewing for 4 years.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say. So this is, in other words, it has been being planned for 4 years. It's not something that popped up overnight. Now, the Obama administration knew this?
It looks like they did know it because basically Obama has been defying the advice of many of his top brass. Mm-hmm. And his top brass feared exactly this kind of a thing, is that an organization that was growing right before their eyes was eventually going to be so strong that the Iraqi security forces were not going to be able to withstand the pressure. That's why everybody in the know, and I mean everybody, was begging him to leave forces behind when he pulled out in 2011.
Right. Because
they saw this growing threat, and they feared precisely that the Iraqis were not going to stand their ground if there was an onslaught.
Right.
And everything that they predicted happened. So one of the things I'm saying is, look, Obama keeps saying that he cleaned up Bush's mess. That's really not true. Bush cleaned up Clinton's mess. Clinton allowed al-Qaeda to grow. And Bush cleaned it up as much as he could in Iraq, and he defeated al-Qaeda there. And then another Democrat, Obama, allowed ISIS to grow. And now guess what? I think a Republican is going to have to go back in there to clean up ISIS.
Well, and don't forget, Obama and Hillary Clinton instigated Arab Spring. I mean, they actually took credit for it. And that is all about the Muslim Brotherhood, and ISIS grew out of the Muslim Brotherhood. So all this stuff is connected, Dr. Grace.
Well, there's been so many errors that they have made, so many errors of judgment. And even now, it's just shocking that in the president's last press conference, he said, quote unquote, I don't have a strategy yet on how to defeat ISIS.
Well,
now, even if you don't have a strategy, moron, shut up.
Right, right. But again, I'm going to say this again at the risk of sounding redundant. I think Obama's doing this stuff on purpose, Dr. Grace. He's opening the borders. He's keeping them open. ISIS is across our border. He has no strategy for ISIS. He instigated Arab Spring, and he sits around. People are thinking, how can he be this dumb? And I'm saying he's not.
Well, it's, as I said, look, it's very, very alarming, and it's very clear that he is betraying American interests. One of the factors, too, in the growth of ISIS is that ISIS benefited from so many very, very talented prisoners that had been captured and that were then released.
Right.
And that's why I went apoplectic when Obama released 5 Taliban commanders for Bergdahl, the deserter. And so this is all part of a pattern in which ISIS was able to grow right under our nose, and also it benefited from so many prisoner swaps, which sent back into the field some of the best, most capable terrorists that we had already captured.
Right. Send them right back to us. Dr. Grace, we've got to go. The music's playing. We're at a hard time out. Folks, that was Dr. Grace Vuoto. You don't want to miss her here every single Friday. Folks, you're listening to Freedom Friday with Carl Gallups. We'll be back after this time out.